Well, it's like we're ready to go. Ludovic, boss, wow, Shegun, you are just, you are a different breed. Victor Gudikwe, Asanatu, Akinfe Samuel, Fumi Adewuse, Flair Karen, Obediah, Olukayode, good morning, everyone. Pastor Irene, good morning. Jake Hockey, Mashu, Bobo, good morning. Good morning to all of you. Bebe, Lemmy Gwenga, good morning. Nkiru, good morning. Wisdom, Ifeanyi, good morning. Solomon, from Perth, Australia, wow. Apostle Ezra from Kenya, Olorunfemi, Maria Martinez. Oh yeah, Maria Martinez said we should all go and share the message. Yeah, I think she's right. Let's go ahead and share the link, please. Let's go and share the link, everybody. Please, let's go share the link. FZ, Ishaya, Assumpta. Yeah, let's go and share the link, please. The earlier we do that, the better. Let's go share the link so that we could begin on time. Okay. As soon as you finish sharing, we are commencing. All right. Welcome, everyone. Nice to see all of you. Today, I'm continuing the second part of what we began last night. The message for last night was how the world system enslaves you. How the world system enslaves you. And I think we got that message yesterday, how the world system enslaves. And that's so sad, but it's reality, and we need to know it. If we don't know how the world system enslaves, then we will not be able to know how to set ourselves free as well. So thank you for sharing. Now we're ready to go for the second part of this message. The second part of this message, how the world system enslaves you, or enslaves all of us, is that, like I said, last night I stopped at saying that the world system uses, what we would call godly or noble cause to be one of the ways that it enslaves us. And one of these noble cause that, the world system uses to enslave us is family. Everybody feels like marriage. I stopped at point 15 yesterday. So the next point is that the fact that, Satan tries to use marriage and family to law us. Actually, most of the time, I'm sorry for this, but I hope you understand me. But I'm not trying to put down the institution and institution of marriage. I am just trying to be frank and to be candid with all of us. But too many of us are getting married whereby we don't have any business going to marry. And, the statistics show this. The statistics prove this. Because many people, can you imagine that 8 out of 10 marriages in most countries are breaking down? 8 out of 10 marriages. Why is that happening? Is it because, God wanted that to happen? No. It's because many people are marrying that have no business marrying. Many people are getting married who have no business marrying. And but because of the pressure to marry and because of the demands of the society, and that's the way, and some people, even our family, they don't even know sometimes that they are walking and they are playing right into the hand of the world system by forcing us and by, making us feel that we must marry. And that, you must go and marry. You are 10 years, you are 20 years old, you are 30 years old, you are 40 years old. So go marry. As if marriage is the purpose of creation. As if marriage is the very reason why we are sent to the world. But I'm sorry to say, marriage is not the sole reason why we are sent to this world. Actually, it's not even one of the reasons. It could be one of the reasons, but it's not the first or second reason why we are sent to this world. We are sent to this world, first of all, to fulfill the plan and purpose of God for the life of each and every person. God has given into every human being so much talent, so much gift, so much capacity and abilities, so much endowment from God. Even God has put himself and his own nature in every human being. So much has been invested into you that marriage or no marriage will never cancel that. Either you are, even if you are never married or you are never going to have children, that will still never reduce you in God's eyes. It doesn't reduce your worth. It doesn't reduce your quality before God. It doesn't reduce your glory before God. God has already crowned you with glory and honor. So that glory and honor is enough for you to glorify him on earth. It's enough for you to please him on earth and to glorify him and to do his will and accomplish his purpose on earth, even without you marrying. So, but the way it has been set up in the world today, as if marriage is the whole purpose of human existence. So some people are even married who are living in unhappy marriages and on very terrible situations and circumstances in their marriage, but they think they have to be there. They have to remain there because it's a status thing. They think it's the purpose of man, and that is very wrong. Everybody, God has created everybody for a purpose. In the book of Jeremiah, the Bible says that before you were born, that God had known you, and while you were still in your mother's womb, he has already appointed you, selected you, anointed you to be a prophet to the nations. That is, he has already ordained you to become something. So he has already ordained your calling. He has already ordained your purpose. He has already ordained your predestination before you were even born. So God has predestined you to be something great, someone great, and to do something marvelous. So that was even before you could identify the fact that you are a girl or you are a woman or you are even capable of giving birth or getting married. That is even before you are even thought of that you are a man, that you are a human being. Even before your parents got to know that either you are a man or a girl or a boy. So God, creates everybody for a particular and a particular purpose, and sent you here to fulfill that purpose. Marriage is just subsidiary to that. Marriage and children, that is all subsidiary. If marriage were the purpose that God creates us for, or for to have children is what God created for us, can you imagine? Then we are not better than animals. We are not better than our pets. We are not better than cats. We are not better than dogs. We are not better than pigs. Why? Because they have more children than us. They can even beat us into that in that competition. If it is about how many children anybody could have, or anybody can just, because that is a biological process. Anybody can sleep with anybody and have children, even without marriage. But anybody can, even people could be raped and still have children, even without marriage, even without love. So it's a biological thing. We shouldn't elevate it to the status of what? To the status of as if that is the whole purpose of man on earth. And unfortunately, because of that pressure of marriage, we get enslaved. We get enslaved by Satan, and Satan uses the world system to enslave us. So because you want to marry, the pressure to marry makes you to do crazy stuff. The pressure to have children pushes you to begin to look for means to survive. And when you are looking for means to survive, it means you need more. If you want to marry, you need money. And if you need to marry, you must get a house. If you need to marry, you need a car. So all kind of pressure come on your life before just because of one question, marriage. And that is might not actually be what God is thinking about concerning you. God is thinking about you discovering your purpose, first of all. God is thinking about you, discovering your calling. God is thinking about you discovering who you are. But because we are more afraid of people's opinion, we are more afraid of public opinion than we are afraid of God. So we will rather do what people expect us to do than to do what God expects us to do. When God is asking you, go and discover your calling. Go and discover why I sent you here. Go and discover your passion. Go and devote your life to it. Go and begin to serve me. Go and please me by discovering who you are. But we are at the same time, instead of listening to God, we are listening to the world. We are listening to our families. We are listening to all the relatives. We are listening to all the society. We are listening and looking at the age of our age, of the age of our neighbors and our friends, and we're coming under the pressure that no, I must do this. So we totally neglect God. We totally neglect God's priority, and we just focus on trying to please everybody else around us. And that is so sad. So, but I'm not saying that marriage is bad. I'm just saying when we come under pressure to marry, we make a lot of mistakes, and that drives us to the topic is how the world system enslaves us. So one of the greatest instruments that the world system uses to enslave us is that desire to marry, is the need and the pressure to marry. So that is one of the greatest instruments in the hand of Satan, because you need to marry, you go to work and you sell yourself into the world system. You sell yourself into the slavery to the world, because you need to sustain your home and your family. But the real thing that is supposed to happen, the next point, number 17, let's talk about family. Even if you need to marry, the problem why 80% of marriages now are failing is because we get into marriage without due preparation. And one of the greatest preparation that you could do before you go into marriage is for you to be financially free. You must try to be financially free, especially if you're a man. You must try to be financially free before you go into marriage. Because when you go into marriage without being financially secured, without being free financially, that marriage will become a bondage to your destiny for the rest of your life. And not just a bondage in the sense that the marriage itself is the one binding you, but the marriage will be forcing you to go and sell yourself, to go and do things that will hold you. For example, if you are not financially free before you got married, you will need to go and work and sustain that family. And then you are afraid of getting out of job. You are afraid of losing your job. You want to keep on working for the rest of your life so that you'll be able to sustain your family for the rest of your life. So that is, a danger right there. What I will advise people to do is to first of all discover their life purpose before they marry. Number 2, before you marry, make sure that you step into that your life purpose and calling. You begin to, at least you know where you are going in life. You know why you are here. You know what God created you for. And you must have started, accomplishing and fulfilling that calling before you get, yourself engaged and entangled with the burden of marriage. So once you know that you have discovered yourself, you have discovered your calling, and you have stepped into that calling, now that you are married, that marriage will not derail you most likely from the purpose of God. At least you have already started fulfilling the purpose of God. You have already started accomplishing your purpose, and most likely now you will continue to do it. But when you don't have your purpose, and you might never get to finding out your purpose, because you need to cater for your family, because you need to cater for your children. Especially if you are a woman and you begin to have children, you cannot throw away the children. You cannot abandon the children to go and be looking for your purpose. You need to take care of your children. You need to, cater for them. You need to meet their needs. So that pressure that you have children now will totally cut you off from the very purpose why God created you. It's so sad. It's so sad. And because the major bondage is that you have to go and work, and because you need for money, and then that all puts you under a restriction, and you live in that restriction for the rest of your life, because after you marry, you need to begin to get more money to prepare for the children. So that is another point number 18. So the world system also enslaves us through our children, or through our desire to meet up and to have children. And having children is a great thing. I'm married myself, and I have 3 wonderful kids. But I know that in my culture, where I come from, in my country, Nigeria, many people, once they marry, the very next year, they begin to have children. That is so silly. That is so foolish to do. I was even talking to some of my friends. These were educated people, and believers, ministers, and I was telling them, why is it that all the people I know in Nigeria are having children after 1 year in marriage, or even less than 1 year in marriage? They said, wow, that is the expectation of the country, of the whole culture. You must do that. I said, that is so stupid. You don't do that. A whole country having children the very first year, unless they're having issues. And they were telling me, these are educated people, they were even telling me, oh, you must have children the first year, because if you don't, everybody will think that you are having issues, and nobody wants to carry the stigma of having issues or having problem, or people to suspect you that you are having issues, or they don't want relatives to come and be asking questions why you don't have children. But how could you ever do that? I mean, in my own opinion, even if you are married, make sure that before you begin to have children, you take out the 3 years. I think at least 2 to 3 years. In my case, we began to have children only in the 4th year of our marriage, and not because we had issues, but because we needed to wait. First, I think that anybody that is marrying and is beginning to have children immediately is not wise. It's not acting out of wisdom. Because first of all, any amount of money that you have when you just married and you are just two of you, husband and wife, it might not be enough unless you are totally financially free, of course. But if not, you might need to make a totally different level of financial planning for children to come. So for you to do that, you need time to prepare, to gather finances, to make yourself more secure before you begin to have children. Because once you begin to have children, that means that your wife will not be able to work anymore. That means that you have to be catering for not just the two of you now. You have to be catering for the third baby, the third person in your family. So I think that anybody that is married after marriage, I mean, if you're not too old, of course, and you want to beat time, but there's exceptions. But I think only after 3 years, anybody could consider having children if they really want to be free and make their family comfortable and not be under unnecessary pressure and undue pressure financially, and you don't want to be under pressure of not even spending time with that same wife, or without, then you have to leave the woman at home most of the time. That woman has to be taking care of the child herself, or she has to go and bring the mother or somebody from the family to be with her, and she will never see her husband. The husband is hustling and trying to make ends meet. It's a crazy life. And my ideal way of doing it is that, and that's the way I did it with my wife. We planned everything. After we married, we waited for 4 years. Our son was born only in the 4th year of our marriage. But during that time, I was able to, we were able to get a bigger house. Because a bigger apartment, when we just married with my wife, two of us were living together for about 4 years in a 2-bedroom apartment. So when we know now that after 4 years we are going to have children, so we're able to move to a 4-bedroom apartment. So that is enough. That is, making us more comfortable to deliver us from any additional pressure. Then also I made sure that by this time we already started we have a car that will be able to take care of the family. And then besides that, I also made sure that we were having enough money to be able to hire a nanny, so that the nanny could stay in our house and help my wife also most of the time. And also I also make sure that all kind of help that she needs will be there for her, so that just less stress for the family. And I think that that is absolutely must be planned for. You don't just begin to plan for a nanny after the baby is there, or after the 2nd child or 3rd child, also you might need, there's some help in the family as well, for people to come and be helping you to cook and prepare and clean the house. All those kind of things need to be provided for. And if you don't want to run crazy after you started having children, then you begin to abandon that child and you begin to disappear to work, and you want to plan these things ahead of time. You want to make sure that you make provision for that. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, one of the other ways that Satan that Satan uses to enslave us is through children. And some people don't even stop at one child. When they don't have money, they begin to have 2nd child, 3rd child, 5th child, 7th. That is just, people are just not using their brain. That is so sad. Somebody said, well, it is how many God gives that we take. Well, don't put that lie on God. If you don't sleep with that lady, God is not going to give you all those children. You have to just discipline yourself and do some, planning, controlled stuff. I mean, those children will grow up and they begin to curse you and begin to wonder, why did you send us to the world if you couldn't cater for us? Why did you even make us when you couldn't, provide for us? They will begin to curse you and hate you. And you don't want that. That is one of the ways that Satan uses the system of this world, the pressure, just that sheer pressure of people asking you to do this. Why are you not having children? How many children? All those pressure, they make us slaves to the system of this world. So don't blame God. Don't blame God. We have to blame ourselves and our lack of, our failure to use our brain. We have to blame ourselves. That's just the only person to blame at the end of the day. So what I'm trying to say is that the world system enslaves us, even through legitimate stuff, even through good things like family, like children, and things like that. So and it is all connected to money, because we want to go and make money. We have to sell out, because we want to have a family. We want to have children. We have to sell ourselves into slavery to go and make more money, into slavery of work, into slavery of salary, into slavery of just getting survival, trying to survive. Because we want to have children, that means also more expenses, and because of those expenses, we go and sell ourselves also into slavery of the world system. And then when as the children grow up, that slavery gets bigger. We begin to because the children need to go to school, and then more expenses are coming. Then for the next 10 years or 12 years, when they're going to be in high school, only expenses. And if you want to try to be responsible, then it means that you are working more and more to make more money, and you are becoming more and more slave. You are selling yourself into more and more slavery. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And then, when they go from high school to college or university, then you even need to work more, and you sell yourself into more slavery. So a lot of problems, come with our desire to fit in, our desire to be like everybody else. And those are some of the things that the world system uses to enslave us. Okay, let's leave the family aspect alone. Well, the next thing that Satan uses to enslave us is, is what they call salary increase. Salary increase. Sometimes we because especially the ones that are really very serious and the ones that are really very committed, like, if you really want to be a good worker, and the more you work, and when you really perform very well, they begin to increase your salary. And it's a good thing when they increase your salary, isn't it? It's a good thing that they are increasing your salary. But once they increase your salary, another vicious circle of slavery begins. Once they increase your salary, you begin to feel that you are a big man, and you begin to feel that, okay, now that I have I used to make $1,000, so I could live in a small 2-bedroom apartment or 1-bedroom apartment. But now that I'm making $10,000, well, it's no more cool for me to be living in this area of the city anymore. This area of the city is for poor people. It's no more ranking. It's no more my ranking. It's no more in my status to live in this area of the city. So that status thing also pushes you. So you go from your 1-bedroom apartment, you go and rent a 3-bedroom apartment, or you try to go and get a house because you are making $10,000 a month now. So, but you forgot that you are the same person who was living in that same side of the city, and you didn't die. You are okay, but that pressure that I'm making more money is an internal pride thing, that since I'm making more money now, I can afford it. So use that term, I can afford it. I can afford to go and get a better part of the city. Then you go ahead and say, now that's apartment. I cannot live in a 1-bedroom apartment anymore. As if it's like you are making more money, really. As if you are supposed to be able to afford more things, but you can't, because that is the way the world system is. It's deception. Even that salary increase is deception. That salary increase is to make you and drive you into more slavery. It's to enslave you even the more. So you have more salary now, but then you are tempted to change your apartment, you are tempted to change your car, you are tempted to begin to live in another side of the city than you are living before. And once you change your car from, a small car from one car to two cars or three cars, from a small car to big cars, it means you are buying more fuel. It means you are doing more repairs. So more money is going to that. Once you change your apartment from 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom apartment to a whole house, or 5-bedroom house, or 3-bedroom apartment, or 4-bedroom apartment, it means that you are paying more. So let's say you used to pay $200 for an apartment a month before, now you are paying $2,000 a month. Even though you are making $10,000, now you already don't have money again. So just like you didn't used to have enough money when you are making $1,000, the same way also you are no more having enough money even though you are making $10,000. So it doesn't really matter how much you make. The system of this world is made in such a way that even when they increase your pay, even when they pay you more, they are setting you up. You are setting you up for more captivity. You are setting you up for more slavery. So you are actually going to be spending more. So it doesn't matter how much they pay you. It doesn't matter how big it is. You are pushing yourself. The pressure of the world system is pushing you to give that money out, to spend more money. So you are spending more money on the house, spending more money on the car. You are spending more money on your lifestyle. You now want to begin to go on vacation that you couldn't afford before. You now begin to buy things that you couldn't buy before, and by the time you know it, that $10,000 a month is no more enough. So what am I saying? The world system enslaves you even the more, and by deceiving you, and you think you are it's a mental game. In your mind, you are thinking you are a big man. In your mind, you are thinking, I'm making 10,000 now, 10,000 a month, and so I must live up to that status. I must live up to that, up to that place. Somebody is telling me there's no problem having children immediately after marriage if you I already passed this point, but if you plan it very well. Well, if you want to talk about that, let's discuss about that later on. It's a problem with having children after marriage immediately, the first year of marriage. It's not just because of money or because of planning. There are a lot of other complications. For example, if you just met somebody, you just married, let's say, you married this year, and if you want to have children that same year or the next year, it means that in the next 3 months after your marriage, your wife is already pregnant. For your wife to be pregnant 3 months into marriage means you never have time to get to know each other. You never have time to get to really know her and spend time to know each other, your likes and dislikes, and to really get acquainted and get familiarized. And that is a problem, because once a woman gets pregnant, she's already no more herself. A woman that is pregnant, all her body system changes, all her hormones begin to come into play, and she's beginning to be in mood. So it's not more that person you married. Even though she's pregnant, you're still looking at her, she still look the same, but her emotions are no more the same. Her feelings are no more stable. Her hormones are no more stable, and a lot of complications. So you don't even know each other, and when the baby comes, all the attention goes to the baby from the side of the husband and the side of the mother especially, and you don't know each other. That is why crisis and conflicts will always be present in your family. There is no. I'm an experienced dude. I'm a very experienced person. I'm pastoring thousands of people, and I know people, and believe me, if you want to talk about that, we'll talk about that later. But let me continue. Let me continue about talking about this topic that we are facing right now. What I'm saying is that the world system uses all kind of tricks to enslave us, especially salary increase, and that makes you to become even more slave. So, but let's go ahead. Apart from salary increase, what are the other ways that the systems of this world enslaves people? Well, have you ever heard of companies giving allowances? There there is there are practices like that especially in private companies, and even sometimes government companies. They give you allowances, and they give you car allowance, they give you house allowance and things like that. So, and and we all get deceived and carried away by those allowances. But let's say your salary is $2,000, so they will give you $200 car allowance, and they will give you another maybe $300 house allowance. So you are rejoicing and you are saying, "Oh wow, I got a good job. This my company is so good." So you want to be more faithful and to be more committed to that company. What does that mean? You are going deeper, head on into the system of the world, and you are being bounded by everything. So now that God is telling you that you have to become a missionary, or God is calling you that you have to go and serve Him in one capacity or the other, or you go and do something for Him, you cannot anymore, because you have to be faithful to the company that is giving you all these allowances. And if you dare obey God, then you are losing all the allowances. So God is no more the number one priority. God is no more your number one. It's no more your Lord, and it's your Savior, but it's no more your Lord. So it's not pleasing God that is the priority of your life anymore, but to keep your job. So you now want to do everything to keep that job. You don't want to lose that job, because compared to all other people don't have that kind of company or that kind of job where they have for the allowances. So even those allowances are ways that Satan is using to captivate you, to enslave you, and to make you come into even greater slavery. And what I'm saying is that there are so many things in this world that is driving us, and that you remember the topic is how the world system enslaves you. The world system enslaves through this kind of little petty gifts that is given to us. But the real thing to do is for you to set yourself free from those things, and to find out your passion, to find out your calling, and to make sure that where you are walking is actually in the area of your calling and passion. Number one. Number two, you must make sure that where you are walking, you are working not for money. That money is not the purpose of your work. That you are working not for money or for salary. That the purpose of your work is to glorify God. That in that your job, they are giving you the freedom and you have the liberty to be able to glorify God. Next point, you must also make sure that that place where you are working, you don't just have the opportunity to speak about God, but you must also have the opportunity to establish the will of God, to bring the purposes of God there, to bring the principles and the values of the kingdom of God, and establish it there. Why? Because work is ordained for the glory of God. Work is ordained to expand and establish the will of God on the earth. So if your work is not allowing you to do that, you know that maybe you are only there temporarily, or you are only there to learn some things, or you are only there to make your first money until you are able to now go ahead and do what you need to do for God who created you. We are created by God for His purposes. He created us and sent us to this world for us to establish His will and His kingdom. He wants us to seek the kingdom of God first and His righteousness. He wants us to be instrument of His righteousness. He wants us to be instrument of His kingdom, to be His kingdom carriers, and His God imposers, to impose God and the kingdom of God upon the whole sphere of the earth. But we cannot do that because we are bound by the world system, because we are captivated by the world, because we are working for the world system, and we are afraid of doing that, because if you try to please God or mention God at your workplace, they will sack you, they will fire you, you will lose your job, you will not be able to cater for your family and everything. So the idea is that even if you are working in a place right now temporarily as in the world system, make sure that you learn the laws of money, so that you convert the money. Like, for example, somebody was telling me yesterday that he's working at a very good place where he's getting a very good salary, but he knows in his heart that he's not doing the will of God for his life, and he's only working there even though the salary is very lucrative and it's very high, but he's only working there because he needs to cater for his family. He needs money to survive, even though the salary is very good, but he's not full. He knows he's not fulfilled. He knows he's not doing what God has created him to do. So that's a problem. So I told him, make sure that that's good salary that you are having, make sure you learn the laws of money and immediately begin to use principles of money by saving the money. Make sure you save as much as possible money, number one. Number two, don't just save the money and put it at home. Make sure that the money you have saved, you are sending it for investment. That's number three. Number four, make sure that the investment you are doing, you duplify it and put them in different portfolios. And then next point, make sure that you have enough money coming in for you, more than what you are making in that work. And while you are still in that work, before you resign from that work, make sure that the money, the new money salary you are getting, you are adding it to your investment to upgrade your investment more and more. So once you now know that you have enough streams of income and you have enough money working for you, you are not the one working for money, then you can set yourself free. You will be going now to work for what God, he said he likes to teach. So I said, okay, you can now go and begin to teach and begin to do what God wants you to do. So now you know that you are, even though you are still monitoring your business, you are still controlling it, but you are now the owner of your life. You are now, God is now the owner of your life. You are now, you only depend on God now and on yourself. You are no more depending on that, you are no more depending on your job. You are no more depending on your salary. You are no more afraid that somebody will fire you tomorrow. You are no more afraid of speaking the will of God, of confirming, or carrying the kingdom of God, or bringing His righteousness. You now belong to yourself. You belong to God. So God could truly be the Lord of your life, not just your Savior. So some of you right now are working. Maybe you don't need to be in a hurry to quit your job, but be using the money right now to, maybe you need to cut your expenses in some things, and you begin to use that time you have, the little time you still have to work in that place and make that money, to begin to redirect the money and use the money for the purpose of setting yourself free from the world system. But if you have a burden, like you already have 3 or 5 children and you already have a high taste, you already live in expensive house or in a broad area of the city, and then you are in trouble. Even though you understand everything I'm saying right now, but it will be very difficult for you to move from your 5 bedroom bungalow house, or to move from your duplex or from your big house to go back into 2 apartment house. Some people will not be able to do that anymore, because you are bound, hands and feet. You have sold yourself already to the deception of this life. So you cannot, reduce your way of life anymore. You don't want to reduce your way of life. You don't want to, reduce your standard of life. And so it will be difficult for you to ever set yourself free. And if you don't set yourself free, you might never be able to please God and to do what God sent you here to do in the first place. So that's a very painful process. And another way you could set yourself free is to make sure that your passion, your calling, and your salary are in the same place. Then of course you are happy for it, and that's a good one for you. But when you are working and depending on salary, when you are working and depending on some boss or some people paying you, even if it is church, sometimes church also could be the world system. Churches also have been built in such a way that the churches are no more geared to releasing you to do your will, to do the will of God for your life. They are no more geared to helping you to become who God wants you to be. Unfortunately, churches are now being run like the world system as well, so much that they just owe you, and you are owing your allegiance not to God, not to your calling, not to your destiny, but you only owe your allegiance to the particular church or particular ministry or pastor that you are serving. So you cannot do anything. You can only be in that church and do what they say. You cannot pursue your own goal. You cannot pursue your own purpose. You cannot pursue your own gift, because you are already on that world system, even though it is called church. So at the end of the day, you are the one to answer before God. At the end of the day, you have to give explanation to God. What did you do with all the gifts He gave to you? What did you do with all the talents He gave to you? So that's why you want to resolve the money question first. You want to resolve the money issue first, because money answers all things, and because everything comes from money and everything depends on money. So if you don't right now set yourself free from dependence on money, you will always be enslaved forever. forever, and you will be able. You will not be. You know, when you meet God, you'll be in a lot of shame, and you will not be bold enough to to stand before God, because you have just wasted 70 years or 50 years or 60 years of your life on earth without even starting, without even beginning to do what God created you for in the first place. So so it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. So yeah, we spoke about allowances, how Satan uses allowances to make you more committed to the system of slavery of this world. The next thing that Satan uses to enslave us is that we look at the rich and the successful people, and we have ego problem. All of us have ego problem. The Bible calls the pride of life. The pride of life. So sometimes we want to let everybody. We want to live in deception. We want to create an impression that we are successful. We want to create an impression that we are big men, and that is so bad. One day I was doing a review here with one of my mentees, Pastor Joshua, and he said that it is called packaging. That so if you are buying clothes that you cannot afford, you are dressing the way even Pastor Sunday will not dress. You are dressing and you are wearing what even your parents cannot afford, and you're there although you don't work, and then you are saying it's packaging. So, of course, I know that you have to dress the way you want to be addressed, but not to the extent of, creating a false image about yourself. So some of us are creating false impression, false image, and we are building false reputation and false image about ourselves. So that deception to live the false life, the false image life, that deception to want to deceive everybody and let people know or let people think that you are a big man, or you are from a rich family, or that you are doing well, or that your family is really doing well, or that you have money, or you are making a lot of money. That files of wanting to live big is another deception that that Satan is using to captivate us, to enslave us, and put us under this world system. So if you really want to really be free from the world system, please just be humble. Humble yourself, put yourself down, and let your heart be broken before God for real. Repent before God for living an empty life, and living a life of deception, trying to make false impression to people that you are who you really are not. And if you can do that, if you could just humble yourself and say, God, I just want to live by my means. I want to live by, according to my strength. I don't want to create any impression that I'm rich, that I'm coming from successful, that I'm successful, because that would drive you into wanting to, prove it. You want to keep on proving. And once you have created that impression that is your level, that's your standard, you want to maintain it. So you are forced to regularly, try to perform. And many people, unfortunately, they go to debt. They go and borrow to live, to be able to maintain that lifestyle. Many people go and do crazy stuff. They go. I've even seen people in this country where I live. I mean, I saw some young girls in my church. They are in their 20s. They are friends. They live in the same house. So you know what they do? They go and borrow each other's clothes and wear. I said, what? So they go to party. So this one will wear that clothes next week. That one will wear this other person's clothes. Anybody that has any clothes, they begin to borrow it from, just to create an impression. Just to create an impression. So they are changing clothes that this other girl has, gives to this one. Why should you do that? Why are you not satisfied with your own life, with what you have? Just because people want to live in deception. We're deceiving everybody else. And we think that whatever impression we create really makes us who we want to be. But that doesn't change you. You still remain who you are. So that kind of pressure to want to perform, to want to impress, also is a satanic method. And that the world system uses to enslave people. It uses to enslave people. Now, next point. I think I'm in point 25 now. One of the other things that the world system uses to enslave us is that the world makes you, emphasizes and pushes us and put pressure on us to buy liabilities instead of buying assets. And most people, I never knew the diff about liabilities and assets till I was maybe 38 or so, maybe close to 40, before I even got to know that there's a difference between assets and liabilities. I knew the word, but I didn't really know what they meant. And I didn't know that when I realized this, I went to do an inventory of everything that I had. I didn't know that everything that I had were only liabilities. And that is what the world wants you to do. The world wants you to own everything as a liability. The world will not tell you, the world system is just pushing you to buy liabilities all the time. And the reason is, when you have everything and you possess everything as a liability, you will need to fuel it. You will need to work and begin to support it. What is a liability? Liability are things that you own and you possess that are taking money out of your pocket. Liability is anything that you own or you possess that you have to spend money on. Like in Nigeria, for example, somebody told me that to have internet, just to watch me like this, that I'm talking like this, that they have whatever they call it, I don't know, megawatts. So their megawatts is being counted from every minute, every megawatt is going, and so they're having to spend a lot of money on telephone, on internet, on things like this, just ordinary things. Well, that is a liability right there. So if I were you, if I were living in that kind of country where you have to spend on every megawatt, you have to sit down first and go and make calculations. Where is this money coming from? So if I'm spending it as a liability, where is the asset? Where is the money? You have to set something in motion that is giving you that money, that is making that money back for you. For the other day, I made the example that if you have a car, like somebody wrote something very interesting here. Somebody wrote a comment, very brilliant comment, that he is from South Africa, and or maybe I think South Africa or so, and that he has a friend or relative that has a very good job, very good job, very, very well paid, very good job, and that and this job, is paying this man very well. But despite that, the man has one car, but it never goes to work without picking people, like using it as a taxi, without picking people on the street. So he has a good job. He is well paid. It's one of the best professionals that are well paid. But he doesn't use his car just to carry himself to work. He doesn't use his car just to serve himself and his family. Because when you use your car to only serve you, then you are using money to repair it. That's liability. You are using money to buy fuel into it. That's a liability. So that car, for example, is serving you, yes, but it's a whole lot of liability that you are spending money on. So this man is so smart that even though he's having a big salary and he's having a good job, but he's still using his car to pick people, to work on weekends and everything like that. Why does he do that? When people are asking him, but you can afford this, you don't need to do this. He said, the money that I'm using to repair these cars and buy the fuel, I am getting it back, and even more through the lifting of people and picking people in the street that he's doing. And that picking in people in the street will also buy him another car, even though he's still having this one. So the wisdom is that for you not to be having liabilities, this car you are having, because you are picking people, you are able to buy the second car. Or if you have two cars, you are using one car to bring in money. So the money that other car is bringing is enough to care for the fuel and the repairs of the one you are using for your family and that other one. So one car is making the money for you, while the other car is you are using. The same thing with the house. Maybe you have one house, but you have 3 rooms there or 2 rooms. You can give out 1 room or 2 rooms, and then make sure that the money that is coming out from that room is catering for the expenses that you are using where you are living. So that means that in the real sense, you are converting your liability to asset. So a lot of people are saying rich dad, poor dad. Yes, he explains that very well. He explains that very well, and it's true. But unfortunately, most people don't know that. Even though you might know it, but you don't live by it. A lot of people might know that there is, this concept of, liability and asset. But unfortunately, many people don't even know how to change. They don't have the power, the mental power, or the know-how to be able to discipline themselves and convert their assets to liability. So what I'm trying to say is that the world system, apart from what about Robert Kiyosaki and a few others, only a few people talk about this. But the world system doesn't want you to know this. The world system wants you to only be buying liabilities. Why? Because when you are buying liabilities, then you can work more. You can work more to be able to be feeding that liability. You are working more and more to feed on the liabilities. And then, but if you have assets, because there are some people who don't care for liabilities. If you already have money working for you on a bigger scale, and money investment is coming in, and interest are coming in, then you don't care how many cash you have. You don't care how many houses you have. You have enough money already working for you, and covering all those expenses. But for most of us, we are already poor, or we are not rich anyway, and so. As a result, we are getting poorer, or we are having more debt, we are having more loans and more responsibility, more liabilities to carry, because we don't live like people, like the rich people. The real rich people, they don't spend their money on liabilities. They spend money on their assets, and the money that they now spend on what we call liabilities is just a fraction of the assets that they have. It's just like maybe 1 or 10% of all the money that they are coming in. So we are using our last money to buy car, house, and things like that, but they are using just 1 or 2 or 3% of their money to buy houses. So even though they are using big cars like Lamborghini or Benz or limousine, those limousine and everything, they only cost 1% or 2% or 10% of their income, of their assets. But we are using our last penny, our last money. We even borrow on top to buy liabilities, and then we use all our life to pay the debt. So that is the problem of this world, and that's the way the world system works, to enslave you and make you buy liabilities instead of assets. And they never even teach you how to convert from liability to asset. So number 26, I guess, the next point. The way Satan and the world system enslaves us is that they only teach us consumer mentality, but they don't teach us investment mentality. They teach us consumer mentality, but they don't teach us investment mentality. The only thing that could really make you rich big time is for you to master investment mentality, and I'm going to talk about that this week. So two times a day, morning and evening, I will be talking to you on how to get free financially. And one of the things I'll be talking about will be investment mentality, because only investment make people rich in the real sense. Number 27, the world system drives us and entices us to instant gratification. We want to have everything now. We want to have everything now. We want to taste everything. We want to have a taste of everything. The good life. I want to go to Disneyland. I want to go to, to Florida. I want to go to Los Angeles. I want to go to Las Vegas. I want to go on holiday. I want to take my family. Even though you are using your last money. That is so silly. That is so silly. I'm so sorry. That is not so smart. That is not so smart, And, you must make sure that you are using the money that you have already gained, and that is, we have something working for you to replenish and to replace all those money you are spending. But the way the world system is that they throw these things before you in your face so that you desire instant gratification. You want to gratify your needs right now. You want to meet your needs right now. You want to taste it. You want to feel good. So that feel good mentality is giving us instant gratification. But what we really needed is financial discipline. They don't teach us financial discipline, but instead they give us instant gratification. But you need to replace instant gratification with financial discipline, and you need to replace consumer mentality with investment mentality. Next, number 28. Next point that we that the world uses to captivate us and make us into slave is that because of this lifestyle we are not taught. The world doesn't tell us that money is a good slave, but is a bad master. Money is a bad master, but we are taught as if money is just money. It's neutral. No, money is supposed to be a slave, our slave. We are supposed to be ruling over money, having dominion over money, to have lordship over money, but we are not being taught that. We are not being taught how to have dominion over money, lordship over money, rulership over money. We are just being taught that money is money, money is okay. But in the real sense, what it means that we are being taught that we serve money. That money is what decides our lifestyle. Money is what decides what we have and we don't have. Money is our Lord. But they don't say it that way. But if you are working for money, you are being motivated, and the reason why you are going to work is money, to make money, and it's money that decides where you live and what you do. Everything in your life is decided by money. It means money is your Lord. If you cannot buy that because of money, or you cannot afford that because of money, or because of money, I have to do this, or I need money, you are all thinking about money. Most 98% of the world, they are all thinking about money from morning to night, and that means they are slaves to money. Money is a good slave, but a bad master. Don't let it be your master. Keep money your slave. Okay, number 29. Our pride, our desire to show off and in the society, and to show off and to want to fit into society instead of fit into God's will and God's purposes. They make us into bigger slaves. The desire to show off and the desire to pride ourselves and to tell people, that we are this and that, just drives us into bigger slave. And we become more slaves because we want to pride ourselves and show off. And, that thing only drives us into bigger slavery. And instead of that, let us be clothed in the cloth of humility and meekness. And, let's submit ourselves to God. And let's make sure that we are rich in God rather than rich in material things. Although being rich in material things is also okay, but it shouldn't be our identity. You can be rich, but that is not your identity. You be rich in God and just live a free life. This house I'm living alone is worth, I don't know, millions of US dollars. But you will never tell. You will never tell. I don't even care. I don't even remember where I live. I don't even care where I live. But that shouldn't be your identity. What you have should not be what gives you your self-respect or what gives you your self-value. What you have should just be what you have. It's just a tool that you use. So money is only a tool. But they don't tell us that money is only a tool. It's only an instrument. But they tell us as if money is the purpose of life, is the whole, essence of life. No, you should only see money as a tool. Number 30 point. Our purpose in life should be to work for God and His kingdom. That is why we are here in the first place. Don't work for money. When you work for money, you are a slave to money. When you work for money, you are a slave to the world system. No, remain a slave of God. Remain God's servant rather than Satan's servant and servant of money. So, that is what I will talk about today. But I would like to read out some of what you are writing, and I want you people to write what you are thinking about this my teaching. Like I said, I spent 6 hours. I calculated it yesterday. I spent 6 hours to come and just get all these messages ready for you every day. So 6 hours of my life, that's 1 hour of my life is $1,000. 1 hour of my life is costing $1,000, but I'm spending 6 hours on you every day. And so that's a sacrifice for me. So I need to know what you people are thinking. So I need to at least get your response and see if this is helping you. I need to know it's helping somebody. If I know it's helping you, then it's good for me. I'm satisfied. I'm good. But if I don't see, I don't hear what is happening to you or what you are feeling, and I don't hear your response, I get discouraged. I don't want to go on again. So, let me know. Write something. Let me know what you are thinking. Let me know if this is helping you. And then we'll come back to you tomorrow. Tonight. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you about the loss of money, but I will probably defer that to later on. Let me talk. I will talk to you tonight about how to control your spending. How to control your spending. To stop spending on what you don't have, to buy what you don't need, to impress those people who don't really care. So that's what I'll be talking about today. So let me hear your opinion. Let me hear what you are thinking about this teaching today. Let me know if it blesses you or not. And I will also be reading some of our comments. And as you are doing that, please go ahead and share the message. Let's share this message and let's share the link with people who are not here right now. It might be a deliverance to somebody. Okay, let me see what you're writing. And Nemona said, you are a blessing to this generation. Oshuko said, thanks, Pastor. God bless you. Goba said, God bless you, Pastor Sunday. I'm so something, maybe so happy also. Pastor Irene said, our purpose in life is to work for God and His kingdom, not for money. Thank you, Pastor, for loving us so much and investing in us. I will not fail your efforts. Thank you. I like that. That encourages me. Shona says, thank you so much. This message was a blessing, okay? Charles Ushe said, wow, thank you so much, Pastor. We are truly blessed to have you in our lives. Thank you, Charles. Faith says, thank you for your sacrifice, Pastor. This is a deliverance message, sir. Thank you. Okay. Everybody is saying thank you, thank you. That word thank you, I'm so used to it now. It doesn't mean anything to me. Don't let us forget to share the message as we're listening. Abby said, undiluted teaching. Well done, sir. Thank you. Ted says, money is just a way to think you need it to be happy. Yeah, we don't need it to be happy. We need God to be happy. Okay, what is writing again? I'm just seeing amen. Okay, Layo Emmanuel says, tweet this, please. Only investment makes people rich in the good sense. Oh, yeah, that's a wonderful idea that Layo is having. Everybody, can you hear me? She's having an idea that all the key words that I said, the key phrases that I say, that I mentioned, that you should be taking some key quotations from me and key phrases and turn them into tweet. So can you please go ahead and tweet some of the key words that I've said there and say, Pastor Sunday, like here, she has gotten some. He said, only investment makes people rich in the good sense by Pastor Sunday Adelaja. So let's develop that idea of tweeting. Let's begin to tweet the good things that you like, the good phrases that you like from these stations. Rita Ukoli says, morning, Pastor, this is true. We Western Africans like living in deception and find ourselves in liability instead of acquiring proper assets. Leslie says, this message is an eye-opener. Watch out for the next kingdom millionaire. Woo! Now, that gets me excited, Leslie. That gets me excited now. This is the kind of thing I want to hear. So when I know that you want to go and perform and do what I'm teaching and practice what I'm teaching, you get me shouting right there. That, just saying thank you, Pastor, that doesn't tell me anything. But look what she said. This message is an eye-opener for me. I should look out for the next kingdom millionaire. That makes me excited now. But that means that, Leslie, you must be there all the time. You must not miss any session this week, because that will really help you to become that millionaire. And it's not a big deal to become. I believe that every Christian could become a millionaire. Every Christian can become a millionaire. No problem at all. Busayo is saying, can't just imagine all this great wisdom for free. Yeah, you see, Busayo, you are right. Beside this, Booster your Isaac. You are very right. This is all for free, and that's why I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear if it's blessing you or not, and what you think about what you are hearing. Yeah, Leslie also says, my mind is being illuminated. This is Rema. Thank you, Pastor. Faith says, they also claim those liability as tax, right? Okay, that's about that. Okay, who is there again? Oluwa Toyin says, Dad, this is awesome. I call him my daddy. Okay, it means you have been blessed, I suppose. He is such a man with phenomenal wisdom. God bless you, Coach. Thank you. Abiodun says, it's true. Spending money on what increases you, not what you think gives you pleasure but drains you. Like my bike. Olumayokun says, I'm in America now. I'm surprised that 90% of people live on mortgages. Well, that is it. That's the system of this world. That's what they want you to do, to live on mortgages and debt and credit and all that. Omotola says, Pastor, this is so inciting. God bless you. Okay. Well. I hope you are blessed. There are so many things you are writing. I will take my time and read everything. Let me see what Pastor Abby Kosh is writing. Very inspiring, resourceful, eye-opener, and enlightening. Pray God to give us the understanding to put into practice all that we have been learning through this great, humble man of God. I love you. I love your heart, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, for some of you who are asking what book to read, I think if you get my book, Money Won't Make You Rich, it will really help you. This is my book, Money Won't Make You Rich. This is the beginning. I'm going to write many more other books. Yesterday I made an announcement that anybody that knows how to write, if you're a good writer and you are a tested writer, I want to take you so that you help me. We'll write these books together. So if you are a gifted writer, you might want to write to me to pastor@godembassy.org. pastor@godembassy.org. But this book, Money Won't Make You Rich, is in every bookstore, especially Christian bookstores all over the world. And it is also on Amazon. So you want to go and get this book. It will really be a blessing to you. And also, I am planning to take all these teachings and all this to Africa. I want to go back to Africa after spending 30 years in Europe. I believe that it is my destiny to make Africa, to bring Africa to civilization and development. And I'm starting with my country, Nigeria. So I'm going to Nigeria with 200 people from Ukraine, and I'm gathering 2,000 people from all over the world. So no matter where you are or what country you are from, please, you want to join us, you feel that God is calling you to go and be a blessing to Africa, or you want to join Pastor Sunday's team to Africa, please write to me at pastor@godembassy.org, or you could write to my organization, to my foundation that I started for this purpose. Nigeria Transformation is called. So you can write to Nigeria at SundayAdelajaFoundation.com. SundayAdelajaFoundation.com. Nigeria at SundayAdelajaFoundation.com. And if you have not gotten this book, this is the book I wrote as my flagship to my going to Nigeria, and this is how to resolve the problem of this country, but not just Nigeria, but of any country. So if you are interested and have burden for your country, you might want to get this book. It's on Amazon as well. It's called Nigeria and the Leadership Question. So I will be back this evening. I'll be back this evening to tell you how to manage your, how to be cautious about your spending. Thank you so very much. Let me read another comment from Adebayo. Don't forget to share the link, share this message with everybody, and it might be a blessing to somebody. Please don't forget to share it. Adebayo said, the chains of financial bondage has been broken, and secret of kingdom millionaire is now unveiled this week. I am pregnant already and looking forward to deliver soon. That is so nice. That is so nice. Well, you see, you bring smile to my face when you even laughter to my mouth when I see that you are taking a decision about what I'm teaching you. I don't just want you to listen and go away and do nothing. When I see that people want to do something with it, I get happy. Cecile say, I will be the next millionaire in Jesus' name. Amen. And I will come to Nigeria to give my testimony. Why not? And if anybody that wants to be a millionaire, that's no problem. I know how to make millionaires. I made 200 millionaires in 3 years. So any one of you that want to be a millionaire, there's no problem about that. But you must know the laws first, okay? So God bless you guys. See you tonight. Bye.